Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, July 26th. And for the headlines, we're going to have plenty of sunshine to start today, but by late in the day we'll see a chance of showers and thunderstorms move in from the northwest to the southeast by evening across the southeastern portions of the area. Again, we don't expect a lot of precipitation with this event, at least here in Michigan. Most of the heavy activity will remain off to the south, but we could see around a tenth to maybe a third of an inch of rain. And again, that'll end tomorrow. We'll see some breaks later in the day, and then it looks like lots of sunshine as we get into later Friday through the weekend. Right now looks fantastic with temperatures around 80 on Saturday and the low 80s on Sunday with lots of sunshine. And again, so a really great weekend coming up. If we look at conditions around the area this morning, you can see temperatures pretty mild out there in the low to mid 60s across many portions of the area. A little cooler down in the southeast part of the state. And again, we got some issues with some of our equipment out in Brown City. Hopefully we can get that figured out here in the coming days. And if we look at a couple of locations as far as the 50% plant data on corn and comparisons to previous years, you can see here in Breckenridge just a little above normal, but certainly above some of the previous years that we've had. And again, all along we knew that this would be a year where we should see plenty of growing degree days and plenty of precipitation. If we look at the precipitation, you can see we were a little bit behind normal, but amazing what 7 inches in 7 days will do for you. So we continue to be above normal precipitation, but you can see that line has become somewhat flat here over the last 2.5 to 3 weeks with really very little precipitation events. We could use a nice healthy rain here across mid-Michigan. And the other location, Brown City, again, also pretty good on growing degree days, kind of in the upper portion of the previous years. And they are in fantastic shape precipitation-wise, at least where this station is. They've been fluctuating around or just above normal now. Ever since June, we've been above normal, but not by a whole lot. So really just about the right amount of precipitation. And you can see compared to last year where we were about 2.5 to 3 inches below normal throughout much of the growing season. If we look at some of the temperature comparisons so far for the year here in Breckenridge, you can see 5 of the 7 months above normal, and the 2 that were below normal were just a little bit below normal. So overall, we're averaging about 2.7 degrees above normal for the entire month. But obviously, as we get into the growing season, just a little bit above normal. So pretty near to above normal growing season as far as temperatures go across mid-Michigan. Taking a look at the radar, you can see flash flood advisories, watches, and warnings is out for much of Iowa and back into Nebraska. You can see a lot of thunderstorms developing in Kansas, coming out of Nebraska, heading right towards Iowa and into Illinois, where again a lot of rain has already fallen here over the last several weeks. And we got some thunderstorms and stuff rotating around kind of the heat ridge. You can see heat advisories off to the south. Very hot conditions there, and again, kind of like the ring of fire as we see these storms rotate around that. And we do expect that front's going to sag south and bring a chance of thunderstorms in here by late in the day. Again, this looks like about a 30 to 50% coverage, so hopefully you'll get the rain. And if we look at the weather map this morning, you can see the low responsible for those showers and thunderstorms with heavy rains and severe weather off to our southwest, now coming out of Nebraska. And if we look at the forecast map by tomorrow, that low pressure system moves into the northern Ohio Valley across Illinois. Again, the best activity will be to the south of that system with just scattered showers and thunderstorms in the morning hours that will clear out during the afternoon. And by Sunday, high pressure builds in, will give us a nice weekend coming up with, again, temperatures a couple of degrees below normal for Friday into Saturday, and then we'll be around normal in the low to mid 80s as we get into Sunday. So lots of nice weather coming up this weekend. Great weekend to be out and about across many of the state parks here in Michigan. As far as precipitation, this is over the next 4 days. You can see again for the last 2 or 3 weeks, ever since we had our flooding rings in many portions of Michigan, that activity has really sunk to the south across much of the Ohio and even Tennessee valleys. But again, the areas that continue to get pounded even from before is Iowa and Illinois. They've really had a lot of rain, and into portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin here over the last couple of weeks. Here as far as Michigan, looks like about a quarter or a half inch. Again, if we're going to see a half inch to an inch type rains, it'll be across extreme southern lower Michigan as it looks now. Again, hopefully we will get that rain. We definitely need it across much of the area. And if we look at some of the forecast and the previous INSO event, you can see this was in June. If this were a winter type setup with this cold air lurking off the west coast and not a tremendous amount of warm waters across the northwest, we would certainly be looking at not a great winter if you like cold and snow. But as we move the forecast into September, you can see we're beginning to see a lot of heat developing in the Gulf of Alaska, and that's going to eventually spread into the Gulf of Alaska and down into the northwest. That could promote ridging off to the western portions of the U.S., troughing across the central portions of the U.S., with maybe ridging just off the east coast. And that is a pretty good setup for potential storms and for cold weather to invade the U.S. out of Canada. And we'll see how that goes. And if we look at the forecast now, for today, again, you can see temperatures in the low to mid 80s. So it'll be a nice warm day out there with lots of sunshine early, increasing clouds late with the chance of thunderstorms late in the day across the northwest. They'll spread to the southeast as the afternoon and evening hours wear on, and a chance of thunderstorms into the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. About a 50% chance, and you can see it will be a little bit cooler with the clouds. Highs around 80, will drop into the 70s with lower humidities and dew points on Friday, around 80 on Saturday, and then in the low to mid 80s on Sunday. So again, a great weekend coming up. And again, I think for most areas, about 2 to 3 tenths is the most likely bet. But if you do get a thunderstorm, you can see quite a bit heavier rainfall amounts in and near those thunderstorms. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.